For today's history video, I'd like to talk about how God, or divine intervention, or something, saved America in 1776. It's based on a book called Washington's Immortals by Patrick K. O'Donnell that presents a kind of worm's eye view of the American Revolution, told by focusing on the stories of individual soldiers who fought in the Continental Army, largely from Maryland. The issue came up in the Battle of New York. New York City at that time had a population of only about 20,000 people, and the British sent 30,000 troops to occupy it, to take it over. And Washington was able to bring about 10 or 12,000 people from the Continental Army to oppose the British. It was a battle Washington never should have fought because New York is entirely surrounded by water, and the British Navy was so dominant that it posed an ongoing, constant military threat. In any case, Washington felt he had to defend New York, and he began on Long Island, stationing half of his army in the Battery in Manhattan and the other half across the East River in Brooklyn. And Howe, the British general, after assembling his troops in Staten Island, attacked landing on Long Island and advanced up the island to Brooklyn to fight it out with Washington. And very skillfully, Howe flanked Washington's forces, going south around Gowanus and from Bay Ridge, and ultimately circling around Washington's rear, and his forces were surrounded and trapped on Brooklyn Heights. And it looked like the army would be wiped out, and with it Washington and everything else. The revolution would have ended right there. Washington's only recourse, of course, was to escape across the East River, and he had boats all set up to do that, and fortunately a bunch of Marblehead sailors from Massachusetts who knew how to handle the boats and could safely pilot the troops across. But the problem was the Royal Navy was sitting out there in the harbor with hundreds, literally, of warships, and they would pulverize Washington's troops if he tried to cross. Then God stepped in. There was a fierce and sudden thunderstorm that just made it totally impossible for any naval ship to move, and it pinned the British Navy down there in the harbor. Then the storm miraculously ended around 10 p.m. while it was still dark, and the East River became almost a lake with not the slightest disturbance on it. Might have even been the eye of a hurricane for all that I know. And Washington ordered his troops to cross the river. They muffled the oars, they whispered, they kept their campfires going so the British would be deceived and thought they were still staying there. And by daylight, by dawn, he had gotten half or more of his army across. But now the British could see in daylight what he was doing, and Howe, the general, moved troops up to within rifle range, musket range, of Washington's forces, and brought cannon up, and was going to pulverize those that remained in Brooklyn, about a quarter or a third of his army, and including Washington himself. And at that point, miraculously again, a fog dropped down, a huge, dense fog, which you couldn't possibly see through. And under the cover of that fog, which was effectively like a smokescreen, Washington safely ferried the rest of his men across the East River to New York. Now, I don't know whether you want to call it divine intervention or what, but it certainly saved America. Thanks for watching.